well?
Am I a non-believer? Is that right?
You're a non-believer. According to the Jews, you're a goyim.
Hope I'm okay. Yeah.
To the Muslims, if you're living under the Muslims,
Yep.
you're under the protection of the Muslims. And
Sharia law? No.
Sharia law. Now let's just pretend you're under Sharia law now, yeah?
Hope not.
No. Let's see. Let's go with this thought experiment. Rob, yeah?
That's it, man.
Rob's in Sharia law. Oh my God, what's going on? Sharia law.
Yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if somebody harms a disbeliever that's living under the protection of the Muslims,
Yeah.
they have harmed me. If they have harmed me,
Yeah.
they have harmed God. Now this is something, I don't know if you're familiar, whenever someone insults the Prophet, the Muslims are up in arms. So for a Muslim to even consider harming the Prophet is ridiculous.
Okay.
And on top of that, you conflate that with harming God. It's something unimaginable to a Muslim. You might be thinking, okay, fair enough. But what if I told you that the ruling is that, and this is the Maliki school of thought. Imam Malik said this and Layth said this. These are two scholars. If you unjustly kill a non-Muslim that's living under your lands, unjustly you kill them,
Yeah.
the punishment for that Muslim
Yeah.
is death.
Okay.
There's no ifs, there's no buts.
Okay.
You kill a non-Muslim under your protection, it's game over for you. That doesn't happen, and that wouldn't happen in these Western countries. You imprison a non-Muslim that's living under your protection, you imprison them. We're told, according to the Hanbali school of thought, we're told that in that regard, as the Muslims, you have to exhaust your means to go and free that individual. I don't know about you, but post 9/11, certain British citizens were accused of certain things, and when they were abroad, there wasn't that thing. Like Mozambique is a prime example, a case study, that you had MI5 that went there, heard and saw what he was going through, and now he's a free man, but there was no help, no assistance given to him. He done his time, he ended up being innocent, but he said, I received very little help. Now, just bear this in mind, yeah? The Prophet said that if you oppress a disbeliever that's living under Sharia law, on the day of judgment, the Prophet will be advocating on the side of the disbeliever. That's how much we favor, and these references, they're clear. They're narrations of the Prophet, they are instances in the books of jurisprudence. I can even give you two examples also. At the time of Ali, who was a caliph, a disbeliever had been killed, and the Muslim was brought forth. Then they asked the disbeliever's family, it's up to you now, what happens to this Muslim? They said, we don't want to kill him because we feel that justice has been done. They were remunerated. He was free. At the time of Umar bin Abdul Aziz, something very similar happened, and the non-Muslim family said, we want him killed. And they were killed. In fact, I can give you examples of scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah, who's very famous, and he went to the Tartar leader to get the prisoners of war. His condition was, I'll give you the Muslim prisoners of war. He said, no, I want the non-Muslims that live under us as well. And he didn't leave until he had both of them. These, bro, I can give you the references for these as well. These are drawn up dead arguments. The dhimmis that he's talking about.
To be Muslim fighters on the front line.
So, you know,
Freeing slaves.
you know the thing that he said about Christians.
Yeah.
You know, here in the UK, we pay. Everybody has to pay taxes, isn't it? Yeah, there's something called the tax, and within there you've got the national defence tax as well, defence of UK and defence of Israel as well. But you've got the defence tax. Everybody has to pay it. Yeah. Now, if there is a pious Muslim imam who spends most of his time just in the mosque, just reading, worshipping, minding his own business, would he have to pay tax? Yes, he does.
Yeah.
But under the Muslims, the Christian monks that were there worshipping, minding their own business, did you know that they're exempt from paying tax? Did you know that?
Just as long as they stay in line.
Did you know that?
They have to keep in line.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, they keep in line. Quick question.
So here's the thing.
Nothing will happen.
Now, one thing I would say is, obviously you're going to hear, well, it's good that now you're hearing both sides.
Yeah.
But as a balanced individual, when you ask a question,
They'll show you.
generally, when a question is asked and another person gives you an answer with references, like I told you what the Prophet did, what the schools of thought do, and what the scholars of the past did, that's a comprehensive answer. I can give you the references, you can check them out. But if a person still is not saying, you know what, the least he should say is, I respect that. I didn't know that, I respect that. However, what about this or what about that? The non-Muslims, why do you think we have all of these laws protecting the non-Muslims living under Muslims? Because they would. And I gave you examples that, look, this Muslim killed this disbeliever under Umar bin Abdul Aziz, and his family were asked what should happen to the Muslim. They said, kill him. The Muslim would be killed.